Can you hear me okay? All right. Well, good evening, parents, guardians, families, friends, board members, and all of you who didn't have anything to do tonight and wanted to get out of the rain and come here for our celebration. I'd like to welcome you to our graduation celebration for our rodeo program, our Empowerment Academy, and our Adult Learning Program. We are so very proud of these young people behind us for all of their accomplishments that they have made. It is truly amazing when you can sit up here and sit with your cap and gown and realize I have done something special right now. So for that, let's give them all a round of applause. And I cannot take credit for this saying. I saw this on the back of someone's cap when I was at the Fort Hill graduation. And on the back of the young lady's cap, it said, "Your past might be dirty, but your future is spotless." And I love that. So no one cares what happened in the past. It's all about what they are about to do in the future. And I will give you the same advice I gave all the family and friends there. The amount of love, support, encouragement, and inspiration that you gave these young people to get here, double it, because they still need it to move on to their next journey. They may be grown and moving on, but they still need us. And let's never forget how much a little bit of love, support, and encouragement goes a long way, even in the lives of an adult. So let's continue to love on them, and let's get the ceremony started. Thank you.
Good evening. Will you all stand so we can recite the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good evening. At this time we have a short but very special presentation, and I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me, somebody wave. I'm not very good at standing still. My name is KACEY CRABBE. I'm the director of the Empowerment Academy, and I would really like to give honor and pay tribute to a very special woman who has touched my life and is saying she's retiring, but I'm going to give you a wink on that one. But allegedly she is retiring. Mrs. RHONDA Jones has been with the division for 40 years. I'm going to read a special tribute from LaTanya Brown, who is the director of Student Services, who couldn't be here tonight. She's very, very sick and receiving some breathing treatments right now as we speak in urgent care. But before that, I'd like to speak to Mrs. Jones. I don't know if she remembers, but my Field 3 experience at Lynchburg College, I had, because I was licensed kindergarten to 12th grade, I had to have an experience in an elementary school and an experience at a secondary school. And I remember meeting Mrs. Jones, very intimidated, and she pretty much just said, "You're gonna work, and you'll be fine, but you're gonna work, and you're gonna learn the ropes." And we spent half of our day at Kaiser Elementary, which is no longer, and we spent half of our day at the Amelia Pride Center with students who struggled and was in an alternative setting, and that's when I developed my love for alternative education. If someone had told me that alternative education in a high school setting was going to be where I would be today, I would have said no way. Definitely teaching English for 40-some years if I would be so blessed, but this wonderful woman right here really changed my perspective on that. If you don't mind me reading, this is coming from Director Brown. 40 years as a phenomenal woman of education, Mrs. Jones has served LCS as motivator, mentor, and a force to be reckoned with if you didn't want to do the work. She is one that sees the potential in all students and all of her families. Above all, she loves all of her students, staff, colleagues within the division, and extended school family. Please stand and give a round of applause with me for Mrs. Jones, one of the most faithful, inspiring educators that we've known.
Okay, I started teaching at 15. That's how you get 40. But what I would like to say, I'm not going to cry. I promise myself this. But this is one of my babies back there. So you know I'm a little old. But my journey in education is ending. You all are just beginning. Do not stop. Let that light shine. Be the best that you can be. The difference between me and you, I tell my students all the time, is an education. If this is your child, make them go on. How hard? Another one of my things, how hard do you want to work? Do you want to sit behind a desk? In education. Do you want to be the best you can be in education? This is not about me, it's about them. So, do your best. That's all we ask of you. And parents, back your child up. Get in those schools. Love these kids, and I say thank you all for the accolades. I've ended my journey. I loved you all, and I will continue to love you. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce our speaker. Again, I've got a personal connection with the speaker. It is with a tremendous amount of excitement and honor that I introduce our guest speaker for the evening, Mr. Dee Brown, who is an author, a speaker, and a personal development leader. I'm proud to call this amazing gentleman a personal friend. He was also a fellow classmate at Lynchburg College. He helped start my career, as did Mrs. Jones, so this is very ironic, as an educator because back in 1998, I don't think many of you were born, when I began my student teaching and field experiences at schools around Lynchburg City School and within Lynchburg City Schools, he was kind enough to lend me and my roommate his car with the license plate of Scholar, by the way, and probably not good in terms of insurance purposes now that I'm 38 up here thinking about that. But he let me use his car to get to and from my assigned schools, and I don't know where I would be, nor my roommate, who's been teaching 5th grade for 17 years we've been in this so far today. So we owe a lot to him, and that's also coming from Georgette as well. Dee Brown went from unloading trucks for minimum wage to graduating college with a degree in business and a minor in English literature. He is an author of several books, too many to name, but his 4th and 5th releases are The Life, Significant Choice, and You're Not Done. In addition to being an author, Dee Brown has written plays, monologues, and several productions. One of his productions, An Accident Waiting to Marry, was picked up by the Black Theater Ensemble of Virginia. Dee Brown serves as an influential personal development leader through his blog entitled Successful Choices in Living. His most prominent role, however, is serving as a father and as a husband. Dee Brown's life mission is to advance the perspective of humanity, offering a higher purpose of life through sound decisions, and inspire the courage in others to act upon personal goals. So how appropriate he's here with us tonight. I could go on for days about him. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, students, personal friend, but author, playwright, speaker, Dee Brown.
Wow, that's high praise. By the way, that car was a death trap too, so I'm sorry. But thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I was supposed to be here, I think last semester, but I came down with the flu the week of, so I'm really gracious that they came and called me again. I wanted to start off with a little story for the graduates. Many years ago, there was a kid in high school, and he wanted to go to college. And this is 80s, 90s, so he watched a different world and, you know, visited a couple of colleges, and he had changed his mind from just graduating and living and just going to college. So his senior year, he prepared, got down on his books, read, studied, got his grades up, and he went to see his counselor. And he told his counselor, I have a number of colleges that I want to apply to. And his counselor told him that maybe college wasn't right for you. Maybe you should think about a few trades. And the counselor pulled out a paper and showed him a few trades. And that kid never forgot that. And years later, that kid graduated from Lynchburg College, went back to that school, which was in Florida, by the way, but the counselor was gone. So, you know, I didn't want to put it in his face, but that kid was me, you know. So, many people will doubt you. The counselor, you know, he knew the kid that I was, but he didn't know the man that I was going to become. And the fact that you graduates are sitting there shows that you've proved people wrong. And you've won and you're here. So congratulations, class of 2018. You've graduated and you have your entire life ahead of you. So allow me to give you the most important advice that will guide you through the rest of your life. Your education does not end on graduation day. Okay? I want everybody to repeat that. Your education does not end on graduation day. So what does that mean? Take the most common job, which is McDonald's. Everybody's worked at McDonald's. Somebody's worked at McDonald's that you know. So someone just shout out the salary for McDonald's. $7.25. Right. And nothing wrong with that. That's, you know, there's honor in all work. However, don't you know there are people at McDonald's that are making over $100,000? There are people at McDonald's who are making over $500,000. So, regardless of where you are, and you want to ask the question, why is that? Why would the same company pay one person $7.25 and another person over $100,000? Education. So no matter where you work, no matter what industry you're in, no matter where you go for employment, you're going to have to educate yourself in that field. So learning does not stop. So this is your beginning. And regardless of where this life takes you, regardless of whatever career you choose, education will remain the key to your success. And in doing that, take time to discover what you love. Everyone will be asking you, I know everyone, you're getting the question, what are you going to do now? What are your plans? What are your future goals? And listen what I'm about to tell you. It's okay if you're not sure what you want to do or when you want to be when you grow up. When you go out. At one point, me and my brother, if you would have asked me what I wanted to do after graduation, I would have said I wanted to be a club owner. I wanted to own a music club and just be a promoter. And thank God that didn't work out. You know, nothing wrong with that, but I'm just a totally different person now, you know. So your careers will change, your goals will change. Take your time into what you want to become. As long as you keep pursuing, and as long as you keep love at the forefront, it will present itself to you in time, what you're meant to do. And don't be afraid to use your gifts. That's another thing. Your gifts will take you far, farther than you've ever imagined. When I was a kid, I used to write all the time. That's all I would do was write. I used to write poems, I used to write rhymes, I used to write cartoons, but I used to write them in class, and that was the problem. And the teachers would send notes, I would get in trouble. My parents would come in at night, and they would think I was doing my homework, but I was writing. My mind would just always float to writing. Didn't know it at the time, but I didn't discover it until I was in my 20s that, wow, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, it took a professor at Lynchburg College to show me, you know, maybe you should try this, you know, you're pretty good at it. But it's usually always something that you do, something you love to do in your spare time, something that just gravitates towards you. So your gifts can take you very far. And each of you have gifts that make you unique and that make you special. Believe it or not, you are here for a reason. You were not put on this earth to live out your days aimlessly. You are uniquely you. Inside of you are a range of skills, and within you lies an assortment of gifts to share with the world. No one can do what you do, the way you do it, as good as you do. Your job in life is to discover your gifts that you were meant to do. What you love to do, and you just have to go and do it. Life is not meant for you to just find a job and work. Your life is meant to you to find your purpose and live. There is a world out there waiting to benefit from each of your gifts, and this is your time to give. So, as you take your time, remember this. Don't allow temporary failure to knock you off your journey to success. That is very important. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. That's not me, that's Mike Tyson, really. That's Mike, I can't. That's a real quote from Mike Tyson, but it's so real. And believe me, at some point in life, you will get punched in the mouth. I've been punched in the mouth a few times. I've had many failures. The first college I attended was not Lynchburg College, it was Virginia State University. I stayed there for a semester and gained no credits. And I was back home before I even unpacked my bags. Believe it or not, my second failure, or punch, if you will, was actually Lynchburg College. When I initially applied to Lynchburg College, I was turned down. They said I had to get a little more education. So I had to buckle down, work harder, and come back the next year. I had 5 books, but it took me 6 years from the time I said, okay, I want to write books, I want to do this. It took me 6 years to get published. And 6 years is a long time. That's a lot of no's. That's a lot of rejections. So on your path through life, you will get knocked down. But look at this as a test to get stronger, and the test to overcome the obstacles and achieve your goals. If there is one fact in life, success is guaranteed for the one who refuses to quit. Like each of you, if you think about it, each of you in your journey to get here, today, you know, you've had some good days, you've had some bad days, you had some obstacles to overcome. Right? But through it all, you're here. You made it. And the truth is, you haven't even seen your best days yet. Your better opportunities haven't even presented themselves yet. Your greatest moments haven't even occurred yet, and your finest hour has yet to arrive. Yes, your best days are guaranteed, believe me, as long as you don't quit. And the further you persist, the longer you endure, and the harder your path, the more you will improve. If you fail to keep building on your foundation, you'll never reach your intended height. And that's a fact of life. And remember, your gifts can take you to the highest heights. Each of you possess special, unique gifts, as I said before. Like, you've always stood out in math, or you've always stood out in art, or you've always stood out in athletics. No one can cook the way you do. In leading others and creating stories. Each of you has something that you naturally do better than anyone else. So don't lose sight of those as you continue in your education. And don't be afraid to use them. So we've all been, and this is an analogy I love to use. As a kid, we've all been to a amusement park, right? We've all been to an amusement park, and as our parents took us as we were kids. And you wanted to get on that ride. Remember that feeling when you wanted to get on that ride, but you were not tall enough, right? Remember, if anybody kids had that feeling you had when you weren't tall enough to get on that ride. And you couldn't wait till you were tall enough. But the next year, you got on that ride. And right before the ride, there was an excitement as you were sitting in a chair and the guy pulls the little thing on to hold you in. There's excitement and uncertainty. And once that ride began, that ride gave you excitement. It gave you joy. It gave you thrills. It might have made you sick at times. And you even asked yourself, like, why did I even get on this ride, Lord? But when the ride was over, you walked away feeling good about yourself. You walked away with a sense of accomplishment, and you said to yourself, well, that wasn't all that bad. And you couldn't wait to ride again. Well, that's life. That's what life is going to present you. Today, each of you are tall enough to get on that ride called life. It's going to give you joys. It's going to give you thrills. And at times, it's going to make you sick. But you got to keep pursuing and keep going. But the ride is worth it. Trust me. So each and every one of you, you are remarkable beyond compare. Unlike anyone else on earth, no one is identical to you. No one has the same makeup as you do. No one has the exact same skills that you possess, which makes you a one of a kind. Being like everyone else, comparing yourself to anyone else, or following others is only denying your true gifts to the world. Each of you have something special to offer. So go out there and express who you truly are. Let your light shine and show them what you got. So what you have is extraordinary, and you will find that out. And no one can impact the world the way you can. So to class of 2018, remember, your education does not end today. Share your gifts with the world. Never quit. And go out and show the world something they've never seen before. Thank you.
Front row, please stand.
This time, what we've all been waiting for, we're going to do the presentations of the diplomas. Go over here.
All right. Dylan Kai Caldwell. Terrell Clark. Kendall Fitzgerald. Nigel Johnson. Ocean Meganson. Tamaya Meganson. Trevor Long.
Will the back row please stand up? The Adult Learning Center graduates, please. Shania Dews. Tammy Edens. Miranda Ford. Shambria Hill. Jean-Cri Ricard. Brandon Weberg.
All right, the kids are telling us to wrap this up. So in closing, I would like to take a minute to extend a special thank you, not only to our families that are here tonight to support the students, but also to all of our staff members, Adult Ed and Empowerment Academy, because without you, this would not be possible. But also to the folks that make the decisions that make this possible. And that's our city council and our school board members that have to believe in what we do in order to make this a possibility for these young ladies and gentlemen that are here. I think that I see Dr. Brennan and Mrs. Snyder and Mrs. Morrison and Dr. Nillis and city council, and I cannot forget you back there, Dr. Coleman. You were hiding from me. And City Council Member Tweedy. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. I was trying to make note of who was here, but without you all in the belief in what we do within Lynchburg City Schools with our mission of every child by name and by need to graduation, this would not be a possibility. These people know the stories that get these individuals across the finish line, but we have to have belief from you guys that make this possible, these very special individuals. So thank you for the belief in us for making this possible, because this is what it is all about, the beginning of their lives. Thank you, Dr. Edwards, for being here tonight. Thank you. I know she just got here, but she is a phenomenal woman, parents. Please take a minute to speak to her. She is about every child by name and by need to graduation and believes it and breathes it. And we were so blessed to be able to get her here tonight on short notice. Without further ado, we are almost done. Graduates, class of 2018, if you will please stand. I want to put some emphasis in this. It is with great honor, graduating class of 2018, I am proud to say the following before you turn your tassels. By the power vested in me by the state of Virginia, I now pronounce you graduates of Lynchburg City Schools. You may now turn your tassels. We're going to let the graduates file out, and if you will please join us for some light refreshments, and this concludes our commencement ceremony. Thank you.